Hello and welcome to this mid-morning taste challenge. We have two 3-year-old blended Scotch whiskies, both from a parent company called Diageo Guinness. Guinness beer, Diageo. I purchased both of these in Louisiana. There you go. Johnnie Walker Red Label. This big bottle was $45. It's aged 3 years. It says on the back. Some people say no age statement, but they're probably overlooking on the very back, right below the UPC code. It says age a minimum of 3 years. Introduced in 1867, it was called Johnnie Walker Old Highland Scotch. And then they had a black label called Old Highland Scotch 12-year age. But in 1909, they rebranded it and renamed it as Johnnie Walker Red Label, and with the Striding Man, designed by a commercial artist. And they took the black label and called it Johnnie Walker Black Label. Okay, so it's really been around since 1867. They simply renamed it and put a new label and everything. It's kind of like Miller beer. They always say 1903. Yes, Miller High Life hit the market in 1903, but it was simply a rebranded and named product. From 1855 to 1903, it was called Fred Miller Lager. Okay. They didn't change the product. They just changed the bottle and the label and stuff. So Frederick Miller Lager went to Miller High Life. Okay. And they had the girl in the moon and all that. Okay. So, Johnnie Walker has changed. They'll say it's the same, but it used to be 86 proof. Now it's 80 proof. I guess it was always a 3-year age, but there it is. We don't know what the whiskeys are in it. They don't say who's grain whiskey, who's single malt, all of this stuff. Okay. It is produced according to a royal warrant. It says right there. By appointment to Her Majesty the Queen. Well, now it would be His Majesty the King. Scotch Whiskey Distillers, John Walker and Sons, London, England. Okay, so their headquarters is London. It's a Scotch company, but their headquarters is in England. But they have Scotch procured from different distilleries. Well, they own most of those, like a bunch of them. All right, anyhow. Famous whiskey. And in fact, it is the best-selling whiskey of any type in Scotch whiskey of any type in the world. I think it's the best-selling whiskey in the world. Could be Crown Royal, but if you say what's the best-selling Scotch in the world, Johnnie Walker Red Label. Whether you like it or not is irrelevant. Now here's the White Horse Cellar, established 1742. That's like a roadside tavern. I don't know if it's still open, but this Scotch is not from 1742. I know because I'm looking at the website. I put a link to the website below, and it tells you that they started this in 1890. Okay, they figured they'll get into the Scotch whiskey business, and they started White Horse in 1890. No, they did not start a distillery. It's one of these sourced products like J&B Scotch. There is no J&B Scotch distillery, all right? It's a name put on a bottle and produced according to certain guidelines to satisfy the brand holder. That's not some weird thing. If this thing would focus, I'd be so happy. That's a normal thing. That's what companies do. Aged for a minimum of 3 years, according to the Scotch whiskey regulation of the United Kingdom. United Kingdom of England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, right? $38 for this one, $38.99 per ounce if you get the big bottle. But in the case of White Horse, I had no choice because the only size they sold was the handle. Okay, I bought that at Star. I bought that at Total One. No, I bought this at International Market. It was 35. Yeah, that's right. It was $35, but I could have gotten it at International for $33.99. Price has gone up. Okay, thanks to the JB inflation. We can check the prices now. I'm telling you what I paid, 38, 35. Check the prices. I remember for the longest time, Johnnie Walker Red Label was $17.99 at Martin Wine, Fine Wine and Spirits. That's $20.99. Let's see, Johnnie Walker. It only went up $1, $34.99. Well, there you go, $34.99 for the handle. Well, that's a deal. That's your deal. That is your deal. That's a lot cheaper than Crown Royal. It's cheaper than Crown Royal. Okay, let's see. White Horse. $33.49. I could have saved $5.50. Only problem is I'd have to go to Texas to get it. And I don't live anywhere close to the Woodlands, Texas. So, yeah, it did me no good. What do they say about it? A malty nose with hints of peppery smoke leads to a super smooth, sherried body. Finishes lightly dried with spice and smoke accents reappearing toward the end. Enjoy over ice. I drank mine neat. Now it's getting 4. Now look at the score, 4.7 out of 10. A 94 out of 100. So the customers like it. I'll have to write a review. I didn't write a review. Huh? Thought I had. A great blend, says Old Imbibed of Seattle, Washington. There's only one review in the last year. 2 months ago. Okay, so I'll have to read that later. Let's see what Google says. They don't even have a section for reviews. Well, shows you how prominent this is. It's not too well known, huh? Let's see what Distiller says. White Horse. They don't like it. They're giving it a 2.14 out of 5. They're saying it's bad. White Horse Distillers Lagavulin 12-year-old pure single malt Scotch whiskey. Oh, there's a White Horse single malt. They're giving it a super high score. But then, of course, that's one of those things that 99.9% of the people cannot find. So it's more like irrelevant. Okay, so, okay. I'll have to write a review. Huh, okay. They don't like it. All right. No, they're not required to like it. Let's see. What did they say about White Horse? All right. They say traces the history back to 1883 when James Logan Mackey founded whiskey merchant James Logan Mackey and Company. Mackey had been a partner in Lagavulin Distillery in Islay since 1835, and in 1878, Peter Mackey, James Mackey's nephew, joined his uncle's business at Lagavulin. And we all know about Lagavulin's famous single malt Scotch whiskey. In 1890, Peter Mackey his nephew saw the potential of the international market for a high quality blended whiskey and proudly introduced White Horse to the world. That same year, the company's name changed to Mackey and Company. Mackey named the whiskey after the White Horse cellar in Edinburgh, near to where the Mackey family lived and owned property. Probably used to hang out there. Established in 1742, the inn was the starting point of the Edinburgh to London stagecoach and a place where friends were always welcome. Since these humble beginnings, steeped in Scottish heritage, White Horse has grown in popularity around the world. Oh, well, maybe so, but not around Louisiana way. They have a video on here about how to make a highball with it. White Horse has a full-bodied peaty flavor and a warm aftertaste. I mean, it tastes warm or it feels warm. They're showing a shot glass. The whiskey leaves hints of oak, smoke, and toffee on the nose and has a finish that is long and slightly complex with notes of oak, spices, and creamy vanilla. The perfect serve is a dos calvinho. White Horse is best enjoyed as a small, neat serve, complementing a round of beers with friends. So they're saying drink it as shots while you're drinking beer. Okay. I don't know if I agree with that. It sounds like a danger zone, but that's what they're saying on their own website. Take shots of it while you drink a beer. Okay, all right. They're showing a pretty box and the 750 milliliter bottle. I haven't seen those. There's that guy, Mackey. Johnnie Walker. Honey cascading over smoke. I'll go along with that. Fresh citrus fruit smell. Tastes like black pepper and cinnamon. Black pepper. A long lingering smoky finish. Then there's a whole bunch of stuff about cocktails. Well, why do you think they're immediately talking about cocktails? Because it's a mixing whiskey. Now, what else do they talk about on the Diageo Bar Academy website? George Dickel. Go on and on about it. That 69, which I've still not purchased. I can get the 69 Gold, which is a lighter one. Bells. I think I can get bells. Well, I'm not going to sit here and go through all of this. No one wants to hear that. Okay. Hector Lopez says, morning, Ronald. Good morning to you, Hector. Rocket Man says, I'm pretty familiar with Johnnie Walker, but haven't heard of White Horse. Maybe I'll check it out if I can find it here. In Google, we trust. Laughing out loud, yeah. I've never seen that White Horse before. All Johnnie products in my area went way up in price, says Nemo. Well, luckily I could still get it for $34. So $34 for me, but I paid $35 and $38.99. So $39, $36. Actually, I paid $35.99. No, you know what? I think it was 35. It was just like 35 even. It was like $35. Okay, but anyway, but they close. And if you go to Total Wine's website, they actually the same price, assuming you can find it. Different looking bottle. Gotta watch these built-in pours. It'll flow out like craziness. Okay, you'll get too much of it. Okay, I gave 375 milliliters to my friend David. He liked it so much he went and bought a whole bottle at Star. Wow, Walker was cheaper. The Walker was cheaper. Johnnie Walker is not expensive in Louisiana. I can't speak for other states, okay? I'm talking about the red label and maybe the black. Really, I'm talking about the red label. All the rest, they're kind of high. Except the fire and ice and the fire and water. I think it's, there's two of them, you know, ice and fire. One is fire, one is ice, from that television series that went off the air, and now they're trying to get rid of all the bottles. They're $19.99, but I never bought them because I don't want them. Game of Thrones, yeah, I don't want them, but I'm sure they're very good, but I just, it's like, well, I can't buy everything. But a $40 bottle, they were like $40 when they first came out, and then the show went off the air, so they were like, now we got to get rid of it. So they're $19.99 at certain stores here. I guess they're all gone now. Mathern's had a big bourbon sale today. They have it right now. It's probably all gone at this point. I wouldn't mind. They had Blanton's. People were going buck wild for Blanton's. They had Heaven Hill 12-year age Kentucky straight bourbon. Never seen that before. Oh, they had a bunch of Eagle Rare. I saved my fire and ice bottle for my collection after I drank them, of course. Well, yeah, it makes sense. Okay. So appearance. The Johnnie Walker is a little bit darker, but it's so close now we're talking about. They're both amber. All right. As Nick Saban says, all right. Now, what else does he say? This whiskey is good relative to the other whiskeys. In that game, we gotta learn to play better relative to other teams. Everything he says is relative to something else. All right. Now, like he related losing to Louisiana Monroe when Alabama lost the game to University of Louisiana Monroe. He said everybody experiences tragedies. It's like Pearl Harbor, and a lot of people said, "Wow, that's pretty interesting to relate losing a game to Louisiana Monroe to the Pearl Harbor attack." But I guess when your whole life is wrapped up in games and maybe you don't really know what's going on in the rest of the world, that wouldn't be an apt comparison. For most people, that would be an outrageously inappropriate comparison. But that was his words, not mine. Okay. I guess to Alabama fans, it did feel like Pearl Harbor. Okay. Monroe, Louisiana was so excited, they replayed the entire game later that night on a local channel. I have no predictions about this. The price is about the same. The availability is quite obviously different. Johnnie Walker Red Label is sold at every liquor store on earth, whereas White Horse, I've seen it at one store in Louisiana, and that's called Star. They're building a new Star, a second Star, further north on Louisiana Highway 49. Same side of the highway, though, the southbound side. They're putting it right a block away from another famous liquor store. I know that's a war. They're about to start a war. But in Louisiana, when they have those kind of wars, places burn down. You say you're kidding. You're a kidder. Actually, that some people that know about that town know about what I'm talking about. All right. Well, it smells like cereal grain. You say multigrain. It does smell like a multigrain. Mostly corn. Johnnie Walker's probably 80% corn whiskey, grain alcohol, grain whiskey. whatever, age at least 3 years. Can't use raw distillate like in the U.S. Um, and they say some people have named the single malts that Johnnie Walker uses. I can't remember what those are. Is there any smoke in the nose? Not a bit of it. Any honey? Yeah, a little bit of that. White bread dough, not crust, dough. The dough that's coming from the single malt. How many whiskeys are blended into Johnnie Walker? I couldn't tell you. I know with like J&B, they said he used 42 different whiskeys blended in. Crown Royal used to claim that used 50 different whiskeys, but I noticed the website lately it doesn't mention that anymore. What does that mean? Well, you think about that. This one doesn't have as much aroma. I'm not going to say the aroma is different. It just, there's less of it. Now, in my mind, I'm the splinter of the mind's eye. In my mind, just saw Darth Vader. No, but in my mind, I'm thinking that the one with less aroma must be the White Horse. But yet, I've only tried White Horse twice in a duo review initially and then a solo review. And I didn't even bother to write a written review. I'm going to have to do that today. So, yeah, my experience is basically nothing. Let's go with the taste. Johnnie Walker, well, I've had a lot of that one. Yeah. Lots of it. But not too much. Oh, yeah. Maxwell says, hi, Ron. Nold. Hello to you, Maxwell. Peace. Peace on earth. All right. Smoke. Tap water. And generalized grains. Could they use wheat whiskey in it? Oh, yes, they could. I didn't say they did. I said, I guess they could. There's no law against it. Barley, malted, unmalted. Corn, of course. It's a secret recipe, so you don't know. We know what the heart of the flavor of White Horse is. They tell you on the bottle. Lagavulin. You can buy that on its own. You can buy the Lagavulin on its own. Won't be no $35 a handle, though. Honey. Honey cereal grains. You say, oh, so it's like you ate a bowl of cereal and you put honey on it. Yeah, it's kind of like that. That's about what you got. Corn puffs, honey. The puff corn with the honey. Smoke and tap water, says Rocket Man. Well, that's what I'm tasting. That's what we tasting. Okay, second go around. See, to me, in my thinking, Johnnie Walker always had that smokiness. So you say, well, they must be using an Isla single malt in Johnnie Walker's blend. You would assume that's the case. Somebody had named it one time, but I can't remember. And it's always there. I know some people say, I can't stand Johnnie Walker. I hate that smoke. Well, that's understandable. But I like that smoke. And so, consequently, I like Johnnie Walker. I love Johnnie Walker Red Label. I don't understand why people hate it. Some people say, oh, that's the worst stuff in the world. No, come over here and I'll introduce you to a lot worse. I think it's really good. You say, well, people only buy it because of marketing. Really? You think it's the #1 Scotch whiskey on the planet because people just see advertisements and they're so intrigued and impressed by the advertisements that they run out and buy it and keep buying it? I don't know. I think they like it. I think the people actually like it. I'm not saying they drink it neat. They mix it. If you don't feel like smoke, why are you drinking Scotch? There's a way smokier options out there. Well, Rocket Man, there's a lot of Scotch whiskeys that have no smoke character whatsoever. In fact, most of the ones I own don't. They just don't. Um, so there's a Scotch whiskey for everybody. Cheap, mid-range, expensive, smoky, barely smoky, and not at all smoky, right? So there's just so many. Some are like all honey and grain, honey and grain, honey and grain, honey and grain. All right. Greg says, I would like to see you review some Smoky Isla scotches like Lefroy. I would like to get it, but I'm backed up. What I mean when I say I'm backed up, I've got too many scotches that are not even open. I haven't opened the bottles, and they all lined up in the other room. So it's like, I cannot buy any more. I mean, I could, but what's the point? True, I've tasted some that taste like campfire in a glass. Yeah, some are just super smoke. Now I have reviewed smoky scotches. I got the Ardbeg 10, and I did the Finlagen. Is that enough smoky scotch for me? No, 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 no. I want more, 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 more. I'm like Queen. I want it all, and I want it now, but I can't get it all, and I'm not going to get it now. That's it. Peat, like the compost pile, smoke, honey, grains, sugar water. Yeah, it's nice. Tap water. You say tap water, that's a joke. Well, actually, that's probably what they're using to bring it down to 80 proof. I went to a distillery tour for one of the Sazerac companies, Barton Distilling, and the lady was like, I say the lady, but really the girl, I say to the girl, she's probably like 20 years old, 22. She says, and I asked her, I said, do you have a relative that works here? She said, my uncle's been working here a long time. And it's always the same thing. I ask every tour guide when I go on a brewery tour or whatever, I'll say, do you have any relatives that work at Miller Brewing? And the girl will say, yes, my father and my uncle work here. So you say, well, yeah, common sense. That's how to get the job. Okay, summer job, right? I'd do it. Of course, anybody else would too. But she said, you know how they bring it down to 80 proof? She was saying it like this was like a secret. You know how they bring this whiskey down to 80 proof? Honestly, I didn't know. I said, how? She said, they just add tap water from the faucet. I said, oh, okay. That's simple, huh? Yeah. She said, they just start pouring it in there, and then when it gets to 80 proof, they stop. I said, okay. And they said the same thing on the Budweiser brewery tour. They said, you know where we get our water? I said, the Mississippi River. Yes. And she said, yes, because we get our water from the St. Louis Municipal Water Supply, and their water comes straight out the Mississippi River. I say, Budweiser, use river water. And so you don't want to drink faucet water. Okay. You want to buy bottled water. Okay. You ever looked at a bottled water label carefully? I have. That's why I drink faucet water. All right. Because if you drink bottled water, that's what you're drinking anyway. Can't tell people nothing. Okay. Look, it's smoky, but it fades. It's smoky, but it fades. It is smoky, but it fades. What I mean is, there's an initial rush of smoke, but if you keep sipping on it, it doesn't last. It's there, but really, are these more similar than different? They are definitely more similar than different. The price is about the same. The bottle size is the same. They're both aged 3 years. They both made from the same. They both come from the same parent company, Diageo. After all, so which one would I buy? Yeah, I guess I buy the one that had that initial rush of smoke because I like the smokiness. But if I think it's going to linger and last, I'm wrong. It's not. Yeah, it's like, haha, tease, bye. I mean, the compost pile, the peatiness, that organic rotting vegetable, and you know what I mean, that rotting organic matter. Say it's peat. Yeah, well, that's what peat is. It's there. Now I can understand some viewers saying, I don't know, I just don't see drinking liquefied compost pile as being appealing. That's a crude way to express it, and that's my fault. But that's the way that's what I'm tasting. That's how I experience it. That's what it reminds me of. You say, walking by a garbage, a dumpster, walking by a dumpster. In some respects, yes, and I think that's probably why some people are just repelled by Scotch. It's just repellent to them. I know a guy that delivers. Well, I'm not gonna say the brand. I don't want to give too much information out. But he says, "Oh, that is the worst." I say, "You were wrong." Now you might say, "Yeah, but you eat Limburger cheese, so your flavor appreciation is warped." Yeah, I do eat Limburger cheese, and in fact, I ate some today. So I would agree with that in some ways. But anyway, getting back to this, I'm going to pick this one, and I think it's Johnnie Walker, and it's not that different than White Horse, except for that smoky character. Now, they go on and on about Lagavulin. Oh, the heart of Lagavulin is the heart of White Horse. It's from Isla. It's so this, it's so that. Yeah, but it's not really coming about. It's not happening. Oh, I was right. It is the Johnnie Walker. Just kidding. It's the Johnnie Walker, and it did have the smoke. And sorry to disappoint everybody, but the White Horse don't have smoke. But I have to pour a little bit more. You say, because you don't know when to stop. No, because I have to write a written review for distiller.com and doggone Total Wine and More. And I know what people are going to say. Those are fake. They just put the reviews that are favorable towards the product. Well, if you read Total Wine's website, you'll realize they're not fake. In fact, they have reviews that will say this is garbage. It tastes like glue and mortar for brickwork. Oh, they have people that just go, they go off on stuff. They give it a 0 out of 5 stars and say this is filth. All right, so if you get on Total Wine and write a review, they're going to post it. I mean, if you're using a bunch of cuss words, well, yeah, they're going to delete it. Or if you say something like, "Oh, this is garbage, don't buy it," well, they might take that down because you're not providing any tasting notes. They tell you on the website, basically, like, well, say whatever you want, but you got explain it, like tell why you love it or why you don't like it. And fine, as long as you do that. And just be a real account. Like, don't be a spam account, a fake. Like, they might check your, I don't think they do all that, but they might have a robotic, you know what I'm saying, like an automatic program that does it. Well, since I am a real account and I'm giving my real opinions, it always posts. Every review I write posts. Now I quit Yelp because I was writing a restaurant review one time and they were like, "We deleted your video. We deleted your review because we think it's spam." I said, "I've been writing all these reviews for years." Something like that. "We think your review is fake," or whatever. I was like, "Okay, I got an idea. I'll never write another review for Yelp the rest of my life," and I never did. Like me, spam, fake, all the time I spend to try to write a good review, and they're going to tell me that. Not even anything like, "Well, if you don't think this is right, explain why." No, they didn't say any of that. We're deleting it. I was like, "Okay, I'll cure that problem. I'll never write another review," and I haven't in like 10 years. Last comments. Yes, sir. Red Label is a big seller here in England, about $18 pounds a bottle. 18 $18 pounds. How you like that? 18 pounds a bottle. Says Mark Lockwood. Yeah, it's about the same here. People that can't appreciate Scotch do not have a developed palate. I would not agree with that. Maybe they just don't like it. Hey, man, we're not judging. One good sip deserves another. Well, yeah, but this is a practical reason. It's not a problem drinker reason. It's because I want to write the review, and I'm not going to go by memory. I hate to do that. Now, have I done notes? Have I done a review where I just couldn't get online or whatever, and I took pen and paper and wrote notes and then wrote it later online? Yeah, but see, it's accurate because I'm saying tastes like hop resin. It's a strong malt flavor, like black bread crust or a little bit of whatever, And then I come home and when it's working, I can log in or whatever. Then I do it. All right. Well, thanks everybody. See you tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow for Fandango Friday at 6:30 Eastern Time, bottom of the hour. Any liquor or liqueur? I have liquor. Oh, I'm sorry, liqueur. I have a whiskey liqueur. Now get this. This is crazy. Whiskey. I'm not joking. Barbecue flavor. You say, what flavor? Is it Sweet Baby Ray's? Is it Kraft? It's great value barbecue. So I don't know. But it was 99 cents for a little sample bottle. I got to buy it. Yeah. Barbecue flavored. Have a great day, Ron. Always enjoy your candid reviews. Same to you, Rocket Man. Y'all take care now. Don't forget Fandango Friday.